Jackals TV returns to the airwaves as we work our way to the end of the 24-25 winter season. Today we'll be checking out a game between the Jackals and the Nighthawks, which is the same team the Jackals played in their previous game. That game was a 2-1 loss to the Nighthawks, a standard score in the games between these two teams, so they'll be looking for a bounce-back revenge game here today. They'll be down a couple of players today, Chris Marshall and Bruce, both out of this game, so no spares necessary to be called up to have the full roster of 9 forwards and 4 defensemen. Trevor is back in net here for this game. So let's get right into it and head to the first period. Jackals get the first rush of this game as Darwin puts it over to Chris Weeger, then goes hard to the back door, and Chris slides it across and gets through, but Darwin can't quite make a connection with that pass, and then the puck's going to come back the other way. Now watch Chris Weeger coming back to back check, and as these players crisscross and that player picks it up, Chris is going to reach in with his stick, and that player is going to fall down, seemingly a little easy, but it's going to be a hooking penalty on Chris Weeger. So the Jackals on the penalty kill now. And this point shot from the left point gets deflected in front. It just gets tipped wide, and then you're going to see Chris Weeger enter the frame as the power play ends. And this puck's going to get misplayed at the blue line, and Aaron's going to jump on it, drive wide around that player who's forced to reach in and take a very similar penalty to what Chris Weeger took earlier. So now it's the Jackals to the power play, and here's Gary going to move this puck across to Daryl on the right side. He's going to go down low with it, looking for the player in front. And Jason's initial attempt is saved, and Johnny on the spot. Chris Weeger slides that into the empty net on the rebound, and a power play goal is going to put the Jackals up early in this game, 1-0. The lead always important in these games that are very close between these two teams. Jackals looking to extend the lead now. Here's Aaron working it to the point to Daryl, who's going to walk down low with it and then cut out in front of the net and put the puck back the way he came, and that's just going to miss the net. So we go to the second period, still 1-0 Jackals. Nighthawks looking to tie it up early, and they're going to get an excellent chance here. This short side shot eventually is going to get put across the far side. That player has an open net, but Trevor flashes the pad down low to kick that one out into the corner. Here's another chance. Partial breakaway from center in. Bob chasing him, but that player gets a shot up high. Trevor knocks it down. Still 1-0. And Nighthawks still on the attack. They're going to get this puck at the point. Point shot through a ton of traffic. It's tipped, and it goes up, and I believe that hits Trevor's shoulder. If it didn't, it hit the crossbar because you can see it moving up at the end. So another close call. Still a lead for the Jackals. Look at this nice play. A 3-way passing play that's eventually back to Rob, who one times it towards the net. There looked like there was space there, low blocker, but goalie makes a save. Here come the Nighthawks back the other way into the offensive zone. They throw that puck towards the net, and then Trevor has to swing at it, and then there's a mad scramble in front of the net before that gets flicked down the ice. Teams are trading chances here in this period, and now it's time for the Jackals. This pass out front to Daryl. He gets a shot up high, and it goes off the shoulder and up off the glass. Jackals starting to carry the play a little bit now. Here's a nice play, picking it up off the wall by Gary, who then throws it through, and then Rob's right there for the rebound, diving for it, but he chops it just wide on the left post. Jackals still on the attack. Aaron gets this puck. He's got Bob going to the net, so he throws it through, and the rebound comes out, and watch Jer come in to get it, and just as he goes to shoot it, he gets picked from behind, his stick lifted up to prevent that chance. So that's a scoreless period in the second, taking us to the third, still 1-0. Here's Daryl at the point, takes the slap shot, deflected up high, and then it's back behind the net, and eventually it's going to come right out front here to John, and look at all that space he has, throws it towards the net, and somehow the goalie gets across in time to prevent that to be put into the empty net. Had about the same amount of space as Chris Weeger had on that first goal, but this time the goalie gets across. So here come the Nighthawks back the other way. A lead pass turns this into a 2-on-1, a pass across, and then they put it just wide. It remains 1-0. Now it's time for the Nighthawks to carry the play for a little bit. Here they come again on the attack. They put this through, and there's a player in behind the defense. Get a good shot on net, but Trevor makes a save. Face off in the defensive zone for the Jackals, and this puck's going to go out to the point. It's going to deflect off the defender in front of the net. That defenseman is going to battle John, and then John's going to put it up the wall, but it hits something maybe, or it wasn't hard enough. Either way, that player picks it up, walks to the middle, puts the slap shot on net. It makes it past a diving Rob, and it finds its way through a bunch of bodies, and it's a 1-1 game. So just 4 minutes left in another tight contest between these two teams. Jackals on a rush. Here's Jer driving wide with the puck. Crisscrosses with Lloyd there. Throws it backwards to Lloyd, who then makes a backhand shovel towards the net. Aaron tips it. Jer is fighting for it, and Aaron finds it and somehow finds the way to slip it under the arm of the goaltender there. And a big goal late in this game has put the Jackals back up. It's now 2-1. So just under 2 minutes left in this game. Nighthawks looking to retie this one. Here they come in on the attack, throw that puck towards the net, and it bounces off the end wall right out front. There's multiple players whacking away at it, but Trevor manages to cover it up and keep it out. So now we're under a minute left. Another scramble in front. Jer gets it, and he's going to work that player around who goes flying past him. And there's an empty net at the other end, so he's trying to get down to it before he gets hooked and tripped up and can't quite get it. So that's going to allow one last chance here for the Nighthawks with just a couple seconds left. They throw it towards the net. Wild scramble, player diving through, but Trevor has it. And this remains a 2-1 victory for the Jackals. Yet another 2-1 game between these two teams. So let's have a look at the stats for the game. There you see Aaron and Chris Weeger with the 2 goals here today. Aaron with that big one with just a few minutes left in the game to put the Jackals back up. Another solid outing from Trevor in net. Let's see what that does to the overall stats with just a couple games left. With those goals, Aaron and Jer have put themselves up by 1 point over Rob in the overall battle for the leading scorer of the team this season. So with just 2 games left, let's have a look at what that does to the standings at this point in the season. There you see the Jackals right in the middle in 3rd place. Nighthawks down in 5th. Jackals record in the division at .625, even though they have an overall .500 record from their stint in a higher division earlier in the year. So with 2 games left, let's see who those opponents are. Those are 2 games in 1 weekend there on Tuesday. Well, 1 week, sorry. That's Tuesday and Friday against the Blades and the Showerhogs, and then that will be the end of the season. So we'll see you there for that game against the Blades.